Hello everybody, and welcome to yet another video looking at Dead or Alive 6. Koei Tecmo is certainly pushing out the contents for this game just ahead of Christmas, and since the last video that I recorded, which was only a couple of weeks ago, they've released 2 new sets of costumes, so I'm going to talk about those today. And with that comes the conclusion, I believe, to Season Pass 3. So Koei's also gone out and talked about what we can expect from Season Pass 4, I would imagine Season Pass 4 anyway, which was announced at the Dead or Alive Festival 2019 over in Japan. And through that we got our first set of costumes, which will be provided under that Season Pass. And also we got confirmation of one of the characters that will be in the Season Pass, and a hint to what else to expect from the second character, because each Season Pass brings with it 2 new characters at the moment. So we will get one of those characters will be Rachel from Ninja Gaiden, which will be very popular with fans because since Dead or Alive 6 was basically released, people have been asking for her to come across. She was one of the more popular characters in Dead or Alive 5, and one of Koei Tecmo's more popular characters overall. It's a bit surprising that she wasn't released as part of the original cast for the game, but Koei be Koei. The other character actually comes to us from Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation. They haven't confirmed who yet. Now, Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation is a PC only and Japan only release, which was basically the microtransaction filled free to play version with lots of gacha and stuff of Dead or Alive Extreme 3, which was made available on console and so on. In that game, to keep people playing, they've released quite a few original characters which are not available in any other game. That includes Dead or Alive Extreme 3 on console. So it'll be interesting to see which of those characters comes across to this to Dead or Alive 6 and makes her debut as a fighter. My suspicion will be this character which you're seeing right here on the screen in front of you now, Misaki. Now, Misaki was the one character from Venus Vacation that has been released on Dead or Alive Extreme 3 for the consoles. She came with that Scarlet update, which was, I believe, a year ago, or earlier in the year anyway, which was the Switch release. So for the Switch release, they needed a new character and stuff to make it look like they were still working on the game actively, and this was the character that got released. Misaki is a rather sweet girl. She's very kind of cute and shy and bashful and all that kind of stuff. So whether she will work as a fighter or not will be interesting, but she's still my prediction. And you know, they managed to do the bashful thing with Naotora E on Dead or Alive 5, so I'm sure that she will fit in right along with the cast. She's certainly stacked like most of the other Dead or Alive girls, let's put it that way. The other announcement about upcoming stuff was the announcement that the first set of costumes under what will no doubt be Season Pass 4 will be a tie-in with Atelier Ryza. Atelier Ryza being Gust's very popular JRPG, which has a very popular bunch of characters and a very popular bunch of costumes, it must be said. It was pretty inevitable that at some point those hot pants would come there over to Dead or Alive 6, I guess, so that was not a surprise, and yeah, it should go down pretty well, I imagine, with fans. Dead or Alive 5 had an Atelier collaboration tie-in thing as well. It was a more general Atelier thing, and it went down really well as well, so I imagine that this one will be fine. But now, in terms of what I've actually been playing with, in terms of the new sets of costumes, there are 2, like I said. The first is these swimsuits that you're seeing. For most of the female characters, none of the male characters got new costumes, but most of the female characters got these new swimsuits, except for the SNK tie-in characters. Once again, they've been left out with only the costumes that they launched with, really. These costumes are all good. They're all kind of classical ones, that's all based at least on classical costumes that we've seen in Dead or Alive games in the past, and there's a couple of different variations. You see Kokoro there with the kind of the skirt and striped bikini. You've also got this one right here, which is the unbuttoned shorts, and that's a couple of characters share that one. There's another skirt and stripes. Marie Rose has a skirt and stripes, see, and that's a costume that people knew already and were looking forward to, I guess, eventually coming to Dead or Alive 5. I know I was. That was one of my favourite costumes from Dead or Alive 5. there was another one is the kind of the shirt look where the girl's wearing a shirt and a bikini bottom underneath. There's a couple of girls that have that one, and then one or two of them have an open button shirt with bikini top and bottom underneath. So those are the kinds of costumes. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 different variations, with each of the characters having one of those different variations. So altogether, it's not a hugely varied set of costumes, it must be said, but they are going to, well, they work. I already enjoy using these quite a lot. They all suit the characters, even if they are kind of repeats to what other characters are wearing as well. I guess one thing you can say is that we've already got swimsuits for all the characters already, so there's a little bit of redundancy there. I mean, I'm one person that can never have enough swimsuits, but I know some other people would prefer a greater variety, and of course I like variety in my costumes in Dead or Alive as well, which is where this second set of costumes come in. This was only released today as I record this video, and I've only had a chance to play around with them very briefly, but we are looking at sportswear. Sportswear is actually something I don't remember there being in Dead or Alive 5. I mean, there was certainly plenty of tight-fitting clothes, but I don't think there was any kind of actual dedicated sportswear released. So I've enjoyed this so far. I've actually really liked these. These are the last costumes that will be released under the third season pass. So if you've already got the third season pass, then you already got these costumes there to download. As you can see, Marie Rose there has a shirt and shorts which are unbuttoned. I don't know why that is sportswear. That would be very awkward to do sports in, but anyway, Hitomi's costume is more classically sportswear, I guess. Lycra pants and a camisole top, and yeah, so most of the costumes are variations of one of those two. Either the girl has a loose fitting top with a sports bra and unbuttoned shorts underneath, or they've got some kind of sports bra and lycra shorts underneath. So yeah, once again, the actual variety within the set itself is quite limited. Most of the characters all have variations of something that another character has, but within the greater context of Dead or Alive, this one does add a lot of variety to the sets and does give you something very different to look at, which is good. None of the costumes that had previously been in the game really fit with the boxing ring stage, so having a set of costumes that actually just genuinely fits with that is a nice touch as well. And yeah, they're certainly sexy, let's put it that way. One of the other little touches that I quite liked about this set of costumes was that it came with new hairdos for some of the characters, which were kind of tied back in that sportswear kind of thing, which is again a nice touch. It's something that I would like to see a little bit more done in future costumes. I'd like to see the developers working with the hair as well and making that a little bit more of part of the costume, because some of the costume sets have hats and things which are fine, but you know, all these characters have great hair, so it'd be really great to see a little bit more creativity going into there. And I guess that is my big criticism overall still with these costumes. I really enjoy them, and I certainly, you know, it's an excuse for me to turn Dead or Alive 6 back on and play it for a couple of hours every single time there's a new set released. And they all seem to be, you know, adding to the overall body of content within the game, but I would still like to see that kind of crazy variety that we saw in Dead or Alive 5. I don't know quite where that's gone, because the developers are obviously quite comfortable with going back to very sexy places with these costumes. I mean, you look at these ones and all the sweating bodies and the body hugging clothing, and it's clearly sexy and fan servicey in tone, but some of that kind of creativity that we saw in Dead or Alive 5, for example, Marie Rose's harem costume, which was a very memorable costume, those kinds of things we still haven't quite seen in this game yet. I'm sure it's coming at some point. I still have faith that the developers have a long-term plan with this game, and it's going to continue to ramp, and that'll be great, and by the end of it we'll have 70 different costumes and all kinds of crazy variety, but we still haven't quite got there yet. So fingers crossed that Season 4, beyond the Atelier costumes, which should be a lot of fun, add a little bit more of that kind of wild creativity that we saw in Dead or Alive 5. Anyway, that's another video done and a wrap. Thanks very much, as always, for watching. Let me know what you think of these costumes if you're playing with them in the comments. Otherwise, like and subscribe and all that. And please do back me on Patreon if you enjoy my videos. It helps a great deal. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.